Hello and welcome back to the fourth episode of What is K-pop. Now, I will say this. I did actually record this morning when my parents were taking the two cats to the vets, Petal and Jelly. But then they came back, and to be fair, I just didn't like what I recorded. So it was all about me and my life, and eventually I would have gone on to how I got into K-pop, but I didn't like what I'd recorded. So we're going to talk about, so actually I just want to say this right now. The past 3 days, obviously, it's been BTS, TXT, and ENHYPEN, which are all hype groups. Like, they're all under the hype labels, like umbrella. And that was intentional. I was actually going to carry on. I was actually researching briefly about Le Seraphim, the newest group under Source Music, their second girl group in the company's history. And yeah, I was actually gonna talk about them, but as I was sort of kind of deciding what I was going to do, I thought I would talk about a different group, one under a different Big Four company, JYP Entertainment. Now, it is their latest boy group, Stray Kids. I am talking about Stray Kids, and again, no, they are the latest boy group, like Korean boy group. Obviously, there was Extraordinary, yeah, pretty sure that's how you say it. Extraordinary Heroes, and they are actually a band. They aren't a group, but they can dance and sing and all that good stuff. So they can do the group stuff, but like the traditional K-pop group stuff. But they are a band. But who we're going to talk about today is Stray Kids. Stray Kids was a 9-member group when they debuted, but is now an 8-member group. And I am going to say now, I'm going to talk briefly about what I think happened with Woojin, the former member, and kind of my feelings on him as a soloist. So obviously if you don't want to hear about that, that's totally fine. I mean, I understand it's not exactly the most easiest thing to have to listen about, especially if you're someone who believes the bullying rumours, because we can't exactly say for certain neither of sides have come out to say like what actually happened. I have thoughts on it, and I'm going to briefly touch on those. I'm going to say when I'm going to do it, so don't worry. I'm not just going to start blurting them out, but yeah. So we have 8 members currently. Those are Bangchan, Lee No, Changbin, Hyunjin, Han, Felix, Sungmin, and IN. Those are all their stage names. Obviously, a few of them, their names are actually their real names. And I will just run through their, not stage names, real names, Sophie. So we have Christopher, who is Chris, who is Chan, even. Minho, who is Lino. Changbin is obviously Changbin still. Hyunjin is Hyunjin. Jisung is Han. His full name is Han Jisung. Obviously, that's where he got his stage name from. Then we have Felix, or his Korean name is Yongbok. Yeah. Then we have Kim Sung Min and Yang Jongin. So Christopher Bang, Lee Minho, Seo Changbin, Hwang Hyunjin, Han Ji-sung, Felix Lee or Lee Yongbok, Kim Sung Min, and Yang Jong In. And these members were hand selected by Chan actually, which I find is actually so interesting as like just like a K-pop observer, because I'm a fan of all pardon me, like I'm a fan and everything, but like I don't interact with other fans too much. Like I have a Twitter and I occasionally use it, and like I look at comments and stuff, but I won't like post anything. I hardly ever like comment back. I only do this in making any form of K-pop content. I'm sort of a more silent observer of K-pop, so I've completely forgotten my train of thought. Oh my god, this is really embarrassing. What was I talking? Oh yeah, no other groups that I can think of have had members, like one of the members choosing the other ones. Like maybe with G Idol from Cube, maybe they chose, like Soyeon chose the other members. I don't know though. I don't know. But yeah, no. Chan, he chose all of the members. He was the longest serving trainee of the group at the time. He had been there for 7 years, at JYP for 7 years, and JYP was like, oh, we're gonna have probably was like, oh, Chan, you choose the members out of these sets of trainees. So we chose obviously the 8 other members and stuff, and they competed kind of to see if they'd be able to debut, but Minho and Felix actually got cut from the actual show called Stray Kids. It was a really weird show. It isn't like survival shows that you see today, where these people get eliminated and it's like 14 people, they have to cut them down to 8, and I don't know, I'm just pulling figures out of my head. But on this show we actually see the members of ITZY, who I'm going to talk about probably in a few weeks' time, and a few future members of Treasure. And I don't know why on earth they had members of like the YG trainee team on that show when it makes no sense for them to be there. But to be fair, marketing's a thing. So yeah, I don't know why. Why is it whenever I'm filming, my parents just have to obviously I am doing it in the living room, so I kind of am like doing it to myself, but oh my god, yeah, no, this is just it's got me. Okay, so I did just have to stop and this is a few hours later, and I was talking about the survival show. I was talking about how the Stray Kids survival show wasn't like survival shows that you think of like now, where there's like eliminations, but I can only assume it was a show that kind of it was like a glorified showcase. I don't know. I don't know how it kind of worked in retrospect, if it was a good kind of investment for JYP to make, but at least from my perspective, which is kind of not exactly like any perspective, actually, it's just me speaking, I don't see the point in having a survival show if no one's going to be eliminated. But I mean, it worked for them, and Stray Kids debuted with 9 members and are now 8 members. So anyway, what do I talk about next? I love how I am the literal I made this show, and yeah, I don't know how to format the damn thing. So the members specifically. The members' ages. The oldest was born in 1997. The youngest born in 2004. No, 2001. They have a 4-year age difference. So, like I mentioned before, the exact same age difference between me and my sister. She was born 4 years before me. And I would say that it doesn't feel like there's much like difference between like any of the maturity level of their skills, if that makes any sense. Of like they all feel like their skills in their specific like areas that they have are really all up to the same standard, if I am going to be perfectly honest. Of that, let's say like Chan's producing skills. He's a really good producer, and Jongin, the youngest members, his vocals are really, really good. And it doesn't feel like there's ever like the discrepancy of, oh, it's just age. It's just age of like of the members, and obviously like their experience. It doesn't ever feel like there is that difference between the members. So yeah. So talking about the members individually, Chan was born in 1997 in he was born in 1997 in South Korea, I believe. Yeah. And then he moved to Australia for 10 years and then moved back to South Korea. No, he moved when he was like 13. I love how I thought to myself, oh, I'll do a group that I really, really know. And I'm like, no, you don't, Sophie. You don't know these people that well, do you? Because you have so many groups to know. So of course you don't know where the members have come from. But anyway, Chan, he is Australian. He speaks English fluently with an Australian accent, obviously. And is it bad to say that I like his Australian accent more than I like Felix's? I'm just going to say it. Because Felix is the other Australian member. And then we have Minho. He was born in Seoul. So was Changbin. And Hyunjin, I think he was also born in Seoul. And then Jisung, he was born somewhere. Well, I do know his casting story. I do know that he was living in Malaysia at the time of his parents, and I guess his brother too. And he wanted to become an idol. He said to his parents, if I don't get an audition and I don't get into a company within a year, I'll come back to Malaysia and I'll do my exams. And so he went and obviously took the audition with JYP and got in and trained for 3 years before debuting with Stray Kids, and he's a part of the producing team with Stray Kids, Free Ratcha, like the sauce, Sriracha. It's like that. And it has Chan, Changbin, and Jisung in it, and they are like basically the in-house producing team who works primarily with also the producers at JYP to produce the vast majority of the tracks for the group. So Felix, he was also born in Australia but spent his whole life, I'm pretty sure, just like living there. I don't think it said that he's moved anywhere else, and that he visited Korea a few times, and in the year before he was on the solo show, he had to learn Korean extensively because he only spoke like basic Korean. He's both Chan and Felix are Korean Australian. I'm pretty sure that's their like official nationality or something. So just briefly to talk about the military service, just so that we can kind of I don't know. I just feel like I need to mention it here. I don't think they have to serve. Maybe Chan just because he was actually born in South Korea. So possibly Felix is the only one that doesn't have to serve. Maybe Chan doesn't either. I don't know. And then we have the two youngest members, Kim Sung-min and Yang Jong-in. Sung-min, I think he's also from Seoul, but Jong-in, he came from Busan, which is in the south. Which like way is the compass? I think it's like north, south, east, west. So southeast part of Korea. If you like look at a map, it's on the right side, right bottom part of South Korea, the closest to Japan. If you think about it like that, that's also Busan is the second largest city of South Korea. I think it's Seoul, Busan, and Daegu are the top three biggest cities of South Korea. Don't quote me on that though, because I am more than likely wrong. But yeah, a couple of the members are also only children. I believe it is Minho and Hyungjin. I think they're the only children. And we have we know that Chan has he has two siblings. We know one of them quite well, Hannah, and Lucas, but Lucas doesn't want to be in the public life, which is fair enough. I was talking to my sister last night, and I was basically saying about how I've mentioned her on here before, just in connection to like the years in which we are like separate in age, and she was like, "Oh yeah, fair enough. You can." And like I was basically saying that like, oh, I don't mention my family that much, even in like everyday life when I'm on TikTok. Like I only ever talk about it in connection to something that's been going on in my life. Because to be fair, like there isn't really much to say about them in connection to K-pop, so you'll hear little tidbits about my family, but to be fair, it's not that interesting. I can say that for free, it's not that interesting, but yeah. Back to the siblings. Changbin has an older sister. I think Hyunjin is an only child. Han has an older brother, I think, and Felix, he has I think it's an older sister and a younger sister. I know we did actually meet one when he was vlogging back when he went on holiday to Australia for the first time in like a couple of years. And she was like, "Oh my god, Felix, I've had like a really horrible day. Like, I'm so pleased you're here." And I thought that was really, really sweet because, you know, with like my parents obviously going to get my sister from uni, I'm here alone for the vast majority of the day. So it's always nice before I go to sleep to kind of be like, "Hi," and then I go back to bed. Because normally I'm tired by that point because I've also every single time practically I've had to take care of at least one of our pets. It was only one time when I didn't have to, and that was in between when we just lost our final rabbit and when we got Jelly. So yeah, it is always a bit freaky. Anyway, that isn't. I'm having to like stop myself from going off on tangents. Yeah. Next, I think Sungmin has an older brother, I think. But Jongin has two siblings. One is older, one is younger. They're both brothers. So I feel sorry for that mother. I'm joking. Like it's always funny in this house because when we had the rabbits, it was all of them were male. So there was my dad and the three rabbits. They were the boys, and then me, my sister, and my mum were outweighed in like terms of that sort of like gender breakdown in the house. But now that we don't have them anymore. We got Jelly. It's obviously just me, like my dad and him, who are the males, and then it's me, my mum, my sister, and Petal, who are the girls in the house. Oh yeah, and obviously there's that like stereotypical thing of that like boys are so like hard to handle. So I'm like, yeah, to be fair, it is. Yeah, I actually also have a set of twins in my family. On my mother's side, there's twin boys, and I have no idea how on earth my uncle raises them. Genuinely have no idea. They are little rapscallions. Yes, they've been going on since late 2017. That's when the survival show was on. They debuted, I think it was on the 25th of March 2020 or 2018, and they went on as 9 until late November 2019, which was when Kim Woo Jin, the oldest member, it was announced that he had left the group and like cancelled his contract, like terminated his contract with JYP, and it was around about 9 months later when a allegation came out that Woojin had mistreated some people, and he had already signed to a new company, 10X Entertainment, and was preparing for thinking about debuting as a soloist. So yeah, no, that was a not good situation at all. There are certain scandals that you just don't want to be a part of in the Korean entertainment industry, and mistreatment allegations, whether or not it's actual early like school mistreatment in that sort of vein of thought, anything to do with any sort of mistreatment just because of how kind of strict it is. But bullying still happens in schools, and it's never just going to go away. But having both bullying and actual misconduct or actual allegations against you, especially in South Korea and especially in the entertainment industry, it was definitely something that I feel like tainted him in a way that I don't think he will ever be fully trusted. Because obviously there is no proof of what happened, apart from a photo that was quickly debunked as someone else's completely. But it's the other allegations, it's the bullying ones between the members that I can't not say that it isn't true, if you know what I mean. And I don't know, obviously I don't know the situation, like of what actually happened with the members, but the evidence is a little bit weird, and if it isn't out the world of possibility that JYP wouldn't have just said exactly why Woojin left, because he said it before with a trainee who had to be like taken off of a survival show. So it isn't out of the possibility that JYP would have said, but JYP himself says that he'll never reveal why his like kids or people who are in his company are leaving, just so that they can kind of have a life after. So, you know, there's a very real possibility that that bullying accusation is true. But what I believe that maybe Woojin wasn't expecting to be in like a group with such young members. Maybe. So he had been an SM trainee before that, and you know, he might have possibly have been a part of NCT. So it could have been that he kind of thought that maybe Stray Kids just wasn't right, but he didn't. He wanted to kind of quit whilst he was ahead, and obviously then left a group just before the Levant comeback. So obviously that wasn't nice at all, to completely just abandon your team at that time if that was to be true. However, there is also another possibility that I also think might be true, and it was actually Chan himself that kind of said it, but in a very vague way. And I think, you know, there is a very real possibility that Woojin might have actually been dating someone. You know, obviously this is all my speculation, my thoughts on it. I might have to plug me in my laptop in a second. So, you know, it might actually just be that Woojin was dating someone and he didn't want to break up with them. JYP himself found out and dismissed Woojin, but because it wasn't egregious, he didn't think it was bad enough to reveal it to the public. You know, that's always a possibility. But I mean, you know, Woojin is doing okay. He's obviously nowhere near the fame he was in, or what he could have been in if he'd stayed with Stray Kids. But I mean, it's just like the same as the thing with Ginny and NMIX. I'm like, you know, I can't be mad if what they're doing out of the group is better for them. And it could have been that Woojin, he didn't feel comfortable in Stray Kids, so he went somewhere that would make him feel more comfortable. So yeah, no, that is my thoughts and feelings on that situation. We're not gonna roach on that until we do obviously an episode on Woojin himself. Yeah. On to the other, I guess, like we can talk more in depth about the other members for a few minutes. I don't know how long to make this episode, because I recorded obviously 8 minutes before and it's already been 20 minutes, so I don't know how much longer I should talk for. Oh, I know what I can talk about, which would be interesting, is Lino was actually he actually had a job before debuting as a member of Stray Kids, because I just want to point this out here now, just in case it's like not, like you don't know this, like think of these companies and these groups like you do an actual business, you know, and these idols are employees, and I don't know, like you make a promotional video for the company with these employees. Think of it like that, but equate it to idols instead. Like, this is their job. They're not doing it for fun. Well, they are doing it for fun, but they're not doing it solely for fun. Obviously, there is a financial gain to be had with being a successful artist. Like, you're not doing it solely for the fans, or maybe like some people are, who knows. But like, if you're going to like be an artist with profit, then you are doing it for the money. So yeah, no, this is a job for them. And when a group disbands, it's sort of like when your boss tells you that you're fired and that you're going to be replaced. Think of it like that. So yeah, that is a fact. And when obviously people comment, oh, this person, X person's really bad at singing, or X person is really bad at dancing, equate it to if your employer told you that you're underperforming, or that comments go around the office that you're underperforming. Think of it like that. But these people, they're having it blasted on the internet for the whole world to see. Okay. Anyway, so Lee Min Ho was a backup dancer for BTS's live tour in Japan in 2017. Lino also was featured on a National Geographic documentary that he's often teased about by the other members. I actually love that. That is amazing. It's one of those moments where I'm just like, this is just too iconic for words. Is everything okay with the timer? Yeah? Okay. Sorry, I buffered for a second. Anyway, so Lino was featured on a National Geographic documentary doing the cringy dance. No, it was I think it was a Michael Jackson dance actually. Before he auditioned for Cube, obviously we know he didn't get it, and I can only think that he must have joined an agency or possibly even Big Hit in itself to get the gig to be a backup dancer. I don't know how that works. Just on an actual, I legitimately do not know how that works kind of basis. But obviously he stopped doing that, and I can imagine that he was like, oh, I want to actually be the artist on the stage. I don't just want to dance with the artist. So he auditioned for JYP, he got in and trained for about a year before being a part of the Survival show, and then got into Stray Kids even after being eliminated. So yeah, no, to be fair, being a backup dancer must actually be really, really hard, because you're on stage, you're performing on stage, but you're not getting any recognition for it. Obviously there are some people, some backup dancers who do actually get recognition every now and then, and every now and again, but it's so rare that it's basically not even that much. So I wonder how those people feel who are just backup dancers for their whole career, and whether or not Lino ever really thinks about oh, I wonder what my life would have been like if I just carried on being BTS's backup dancer. I don't know. Also, completely irrelevant to Stray Kids, but Nicky from ENHYPEN, he was also actually a backup dancer for SHINee. I don't know when, but he was just a backup dancer for them on tour, I think. Yeah, no. So not a lot of idols, I think, have done backup work to then transition into being idols. I know another person. I know 3 people. There's one idol who, well, not idol anymore. there's this person who was on the Blackpink World Tour back in 2019, just before the pandemic happened, and she debuted a few times but was always unsuccessful, and then kind of just went back to being a dance teacher. And I wonder what she's doing now. I hope she's doing okay, because that's rough to keep on trying to strive for the best but never quite getting there. Because, like, those the 9 members of Stray Kids, 8 members, whatever you want to call it, those are 8 out of like 100 kids that probably were vying for a spot. So they must have been really, really good, or JYP must have seen potential in them. They must have like shown that they improved so much. They would have fit the concept the best as well. So yeah, that's a thing. I love how I'm like, I have no idea what to say now. I'm just talking. What else is there? Free Ratcha also pre-debuted before Stray Kids' debut. They released a couple of mixtapes, and some of those songs actually have since been made into Stray Kids songs when Woojin was still there, and have been remade in for all of the remaining 8 members. It looks really dark outside. Oh wow. So yeah, one that I can think of right now off the top of my head that I absolutely love is Behind the Light. It was from SKZ 2021, and it was a remake of mixtape number 3, I believe, and that was then a remake of a Free Ratcha song that I have no idea what his name is. Yeah, so Free Ratcha is kind of still alive. It's still a group, but it's a producing group, not necessarily like an artist group anymore. And we have Vocal Ratcha, which contained Woojin in it, but now also had Woojin, Sungmin, and Jongin in it, but now it just has Sungmin and Jongin. And Dance Ratcha with Minho, Felix, and Hyunjin. And each of those units have songs. Most popular with me, because I'm the host of this podcast, I can say my opinions. The songs in Maxident, their EP from 2022, their unit songs, Free Ratcha, Taste, and Can't Stop, I think it is, are so good. I love them. I genuinely watch the performances every now and then, and I'm like, oh wow, this is amazing. Genuinely, when I first heard the Free Ratcha song called Free Ratcha, I was like, this is my jam. This is like the sort of stuff that I would listen to. So yeah, that's a fact for you. Mic drop, all that stuff. And also, one of my favorite Free Ratcha pre-debut songs is Matryoshika. Like a little Matryoshika is a little wooden doll, and I think they're the dolls that live within dolls within dolls within dolls. And I had one of them as a kid, and it was kind of low key creepy. It was like little bowling pins, but they were wooden. So when you would open them, it would make this horrendous, disgusting wood on wood noise. And I'm like, ew. I hate that noise with a strong passion. It genuinely makes me want to cry hearing it. Yeah. I think that is actually all I have to say on basics around Stray Kids. Tomorrow is gonna be about Le Seraphim, Lesserafim, I believe. Lesserafim, a anagram of I'm fearless, and the whole concept is being fearless. Oh, also, I oh my god, I had on Spotify on my TV one time, and it was when Spotify did like pictures of like the banner on the TV whilst you're listening to music, and it had the members all in their outfits when they did Backdoor, I think it was, like that album, all in. And my sister came in and she was like, "Is that pirate, Sophie?" And I'm like, I mean, I don't even know what to say to that because I genuinely don't know what their concept is. I think it is pirates. I think it's the same as ATs because I know ATs are pirates, and in hyphen is vampires, and team is werewolves. I think New Jeans is just Y2K. They are Y2K. Le Seraphim is like models. Yeah. Honestly, concepts make no sense to me whatsoever. But yeah, no, that was a fun little anecdote. It was fun talking to you all. But now I am tired. Oh, pardon me. On the least professional podcast in the entire world. This has been What is K-pop, where we discuss, or I talk you through K-pop groups and their members, and fun facts about the members, anecdotes that I can remember at the time, all while trying not to fall asleep and trying to make sure my internet does not conk out. I will talk to you again tomorrow, hopefully with a fun update about Petal. And yeah, it's been lovely talking to you all. Bye for now.